This is the chilling true story of the Hexham Heads, an artifact so cursed that it just vanished without a trace. Legend says that some things are best left buried. Unearthing them can unleash chaos, suffering, and sometimes supernatural nightmares. Our story begins in the Northumbrian town of Hexham, England, a place whose name translates roughly to the enclosure of the River Hex. On March 26, 1971, the tranquility of the town was about to be disturbed. Brothers Ian and David Slayful were playing in the backyard of their family home when they uncovered a curious pair of statues, two rough-hewn heads carved from sandstone, each bearing the stern visage of an unknown individual. Each head measured around 10 inches tall, each face bearing striking similarities to one another. The features were sharp, angular, with deep-set eyes and strong defined cheekbones. Intrigued, the boys brought the heads into their home, placed them on the mantelpiece above the fireplace in the living room. It would seem like a simple childhood game of pretend, except what followed would prove anything but. For several days, the atmosphere within the home was pleasant enough. But then strange occurrences began to take place, subtle at first, but growing increasingly disturbing. Residents of the home began to notice unexplained disturbances. Furniture moving, doors opening and closing by themselves. Most unsettling, though, was the constant feeling of cold, particularly near the spot where the head sat on the mantel. One moment warmth and comfort. The next, an inexplicable chill that sent shivers down spines. Mrs. Slightholme tried everything she could think of to explain these disturbances. Drafts, perhaps, or mice nesting in the walls. But reason couldn't quell the mounting dread that settled upon the household. What they discovered was no mere sandstone heads. Then came the nightmares. Vivid dreams of a creature half man and half wolf, its fur matted, eyes glowing red, teeth bared in a silent snarl. The wolf man would stand in doorways, blocking passage, yet leaving no physical obstruction. He seemed to loom over the family, observing them from the periphery of their vision. The family knew they had to get rid of the heads. They returned the heads to their garden, burying them under a tree, hoping to put an end to the disturbances. Yet this proved to be a grave mistake, for the unrest didn't end, it only intensified. Within a year, the Slaythorne family moved out of their home, forever haunted by the ordeal. The heads were unearthed once again and placed in the care of researcher Ronald Hutton. But wherever he took them, trouble followed. The heads were said to be cursed, bringing with them the specter of a wolfish deity. The curse spread, afflicting all who came in contact with the artifacts. Some say the origin of this curse dates back to ancient Celtic practices, a time when people believed in a spiritual realm intertwined with their own. In those days, it was common to carve protective symbols, including heads, which were meant to ward off evil spirits or even imprison them. But if these heads had trapped malicious spirits, then unearthing them would mean releasing those very spirits into the world. Such legends are not unique to the Hexham Heads. Similar tales exist across cultures. For instance, the legend of King Tut's tomb, which forewarned that awakening the sleeping pharaoh would bring misfortune upon the living. The notion being that disturbing the dead is a dangerous gamble. But who was this creature, half man, half wolf, that stalked the shadows of those unlucky enough to encounter the heads? Was it merely a figment of an overactive imagination, a manifestation of primal fears of mankind's early ancestors? Or was there a darker truth, a connection to a forgotten mythology that held more sinister secrets? Perhaps the answer lies somewhere between these two extremes, a blend of psychological terror and a glimpse into a world where man and beast were not so distinctly separate. As the years passed, the heads changed hands, passing from individual to institution. Wherever they went, rumors of the curse persisted, amplified by each new owner's experience. It seemed almost as if the heads were cursed, bringing with them the specter of a wolfish deity. It seemed almost as if the heads themselves were sentient beings, not just stones, but vessels carrying over remnants of a long-gone era. An era where the boundary between humanity and animality was blurred. In 1990, the Heads ended up in the possession of Brian John, a writer and researcher specializing in folklore and mythology. Despite knowing the supposed curse of the Heads, he decided to keep them in his home. Unlike previous owners, however, he was prepared. He laid traps, attempting to capture any movement on camera. But what he caught on tape was not mechanical movements, but a genuine sense of foreboding. John felt an unnerving presence, a feeling of being watched, which intensified during the night. It was during this time that John's daughter captured a particularly haunting image on film. Reviewing the footage, she noticed a shadowy figure standing at the foot of her bed, seemingly observing her sleep. Although the figure remained shrouded in darkness, its presence was palpable. John believed that the Heads were somehow linked to this entity, acting as anchors to its existence. He saw the Heads not as mere artifacts, but as portals to a parallel dimension, a link to a realm where such creatures roamed. Determined to sever this connection, John took drastic measures. He encased the Heads in lead boxes, effectively sealing them away. Yet the paranormal activity did not cease. The shadowy figure continued to appear, even interacting with John's family, shaking beds, and even interacting with family members. What happened next has become one of the most enigmatic chapters in the saga of the Hex Heads. Without warning, the Heads vanished. One moment they were in John's home, secured in their lead boxes, and the next they were gone, seemingly dissolving into thin air. There was no sign of forced entry and no evidence of theft. The Heads simply ceased to exist, as if they were never there at all. This disappearance only fueled speculation about the nature of the Heads and their origins. Were they merely mundane stones, intricately carved by human hands, or were they something more, perhaps imbued with the essence of otherworldly beings? The legend of the Hexham Heads serves as a reminder that not all mysteries can be solved with reason and logic. Sometimes there are things in our world that defy easy explanation, occurrences that lie just beyond the realm of our understanding. Those who believe in the curse of the Hexham Heads consider their disappearance not as a resolution, but as an intensification of the enigma. The Heads may be out of sight, but they are far from forgotten. Decades after the Slatham family first unearthed them, the memory of the Hexham Heads persists, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown. The legacy of the Hexham Heads continues to resonate, a chilling reminder that sometimes the veil between our reality and the realm of myth is thinner than we imagine. Whether viewed as mere folklore or as glimpses into the supernatural, the Hexham Heads remain an indelible part of local lore, serving as a warning to future generations of the potential consequences of meddling with forces beyond our comprehension.